Hello and welcome to Join Our Town. I'm your host, Tammy Jo Johnson. Join Our Town brings you the issues and problems that are faced in the local community with the hope of finding a solution. Our guest for this segment is Edward Drake II, founder and CEO of the Why Not Foundation of Central Ohio, and Victoria Schmalstig, longtime Why Not volunteer and kidney transplant recipient. They join us today to share important information regarding youth organ and tissue transplantation, along with how volunteers contribute to the efforts of the Why Not Foundation. Thank you so much for being here with us today, guys.
Our pleasure.
So let's start with the founder and the CEO of the Why Not Foundation. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your vision.
Well, first, it's a pleasure to be here. And the Why Not Foundation, which is uniquely spelled, it's spelled Y-N-O-T-T question mark, which is an acronym for Youth Needing Organ Tissue Transplants.
Nice.
And the organization was founded back in September 6, 2007, right here in the great state of Ohio. Go Bucks. But it's sort of interesting how the organization was started. I was a former athlete, college athlete, and student athlete at Eastern Michigan University when I was diagnosed with end-stage renal disease sophomore year of college. And while doing dialysis over 3 years, questioning why me, why now, the man up above revealed my purpose. I lost my dream, found my purpose, and lo and behold, the Why Not Foundation was founded, and we help pediatric transplant patients in around Central Ohio. So.
Wow. And I'm going to come back to that because I don't know what the name of the disease that you said, but we'll come back to that because I want to hear more about that.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about you.
My name is Victoria Schmalstig, and I met Edward when he was in the hospital right after he received his kidney transplant because I volunteered for Lifeline of Ohio for a long time, and we would visit new patients in the hospital to get them encouraged to volunteer because I am also a kidney recipient. I received a kidney from my brother on March 4th of 2003. So. Nice. He just got me hooked, and I've been volunteering for the organization ever since.
Wow, I love this dual type thing where you have the founder and then you have the person that helped along the way. I love it. Let's start with organ and tissue donation. Explain to us what that means, and then we'll go into youth. But tell us what an organ and tissue donation is.
There's 8 different organs that can be transplanted from a donor: kidneys, pancreas, liver, lungs, and heart, and then small intestine as well. Yeah. And tissue is anything from skin to bone to ligaments that can be transplanted, and it just helps individuals who have somehow lost the function of those organs or tissue due to health issues.
They can be all those?
All those can be transplanted, yes.
Wow.
One organ donor has the potential to save 8 lives and enhance the lives of 50.
Wow. But the person that's donating doesn't necessarily have to be dead, right?
They do not have to be deceased donors. No, I received a kidney from a living donor, my brother.
Wow. So tell us a little bit about and I don't remember the name of the disease. You're going to have to repeat it.
Yeah, I had kidney failure, glomerulonephritis I was diagnosed with.
Okay.
So yeah, which basically my kidney wasn't filtering out the toxins in my body properly, and yeah, which led to me having to go on dialysis.
And you were playing football?
Yeah, I was in the process of playing football. I actually found out doing a routine physical the summer before I began fall camp.
Wow.
So,
how disappointed were you?
Yeah, I was very disappointing, which kind of led to all this, saying why me, why now? Mm-hmm. Everything that I worked so hard for, both in the classroom and in athletics, just had came to an instant halt at that moment. And yeah, just over many nights of crying, sitting in that center saying why me, why now? This beautiful organization came about, and I was able to connect with great people like Miss Vicky over here, and here we go, impacting thousands of lives later.
I love the name. So now I understand the purpose behind the name.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about youth organ and tissue transplantation and what it means, and how is it different from adults?
There's not a lot of difference between youth and adults. The process is the same. Body size matters, blood type matters, how well the organ will be received into your body. That all matters for both youth and adults. The only thing that's different is a lot of times of course, youth will need to receive from another youth. So unfortunately, another child must die for a youth to receive their organ.
Can an adult receive from a youth?
It depends on the size of the adult, yes.
Okay.
I have a friend who is a double lung recipient. She's a fellow team manager with me, and she received her lungs from a youth because she's so tiny.
Wow. And so, I mean, you're already starting to change my mind about this organ tissue donor thing on my license, but tell us about what are some of the medical conditions that would require organ and tissue transplant?
I was born with a disease called reflux nephropathy. It was managed until I was a teenager, and that's when I found out I needed my first transplant. That came from my dad. So that's one. Diabetes is one that can cause you to need a kidney and a pancreas. Cystic fibrosis causes a lot of people to need lung transplants. Birth defects with the heart will cause people to need heart transplants. There's so many, unfortunately, health issues that affect your organs that there's so many that can cause you to need a transplant.
How prevalent is this in Central Ohio?
In Central Ohio, it's very prevalent. We have had over 700 done in the last year, so it's prevalent all over the United States, but Central Ohio is definitely affected.
That's a lot. So tell me about what the foundation does. How does it get involved with the recipient and the donor?
Yes, the foundation works with, like I said, various children's hospitals. We basically go in and provide inspirational talks. We host toy drives to give the kids the equipment, because since they are going through these health issues, a lot of them aren't able to attend school regularly like normal kids, which can limit some of their abilities to advance like others. We do things by helping kids become compliant, which is one key thing that we focus on. Like myself and Vicky and all other transplant patients take numerous medications. Like I take about 20, and how many would you? How many?
I take about 10.
Take about 20 a day, so 10 and 20 a day, and so kids will have to take the same amount of medications, but we understand the importance of taking it and why we need to take these medications to survive both pre and post transplant. But imagine kids, they may take them before, then once they get their transplants, then they stop taking it thinking they're healthy, and a lot of kids, as a result, end up losing their organs at a higher rate than some adults, I believe. So we just kind of work with them and teach them the importance of taking their medications, and just give them that just pure motivation, let them know that you are important. Just because you're going through this situation, it's okay. Like you're special instead of different.
That's awesome. So we talked a lot about the recipient. What about the donor? What are some of the things that would disqualify a person from being able to donate their organs?
There is actually not one thing that disqualifies a person from being a donor.
Really?
That's correct, yes. They are actually analyzed on a case-by-case basis upon death, and while maybe something that they had won't allow you to use their lungs, you may be able to use their kidneys, their pancreas, and other organs that weren't affected by that disease. So not one disease rules a person out as being an organ donor.
Wow. And I mean, it may be obvious, but how does a person sign up to be an organ and tissue donor? I know that you said your brother donated. Is there like a blood type match there? Does it have to be a blood type
You
match?
do have to match by blood type, yes, that's correct. And then that is the first step. And then once they're matched by blood type, there's several other tests that are run to make sure that that organ is compatible and that our bodies would not reject that organ.
Well, and you see these horror stories like, on TV about organ transplants and things like that. How do you educate the public in saying this is a good thing? If something happens to you, that's bad, but your life, your organs can continue to live on and help someone else. How do you get that message out?
I know we get the message out by hosting a lot of various health awareness events. Like we do things like our signature Turning for Causes, which is a combined sporting tournament and a health fair in which we bring out, we allow people to come out for a great time, participate in the sport, but also have various health organizations out distributing literature, and also people like myself and Vicky and others telling their story, letting people know that it's important to register to become organ and tissue donors and to exercise to prevent such issues from occurring. So we do things like that. We We host like a health awareness plays in schools. We do inspirational talks in like worship facilities and corporate places. So basically just a lot of community outreach to promote health and wellness and prevention, but also promote the importance of becoming organ and tissue donors.
And I guess due to the prevalency of it, it seemed like there would just be this exchange. Like every time there's a death, there's an organ that needs to be donated. But that may not be true. And if that's not true, where are the organs kept and how are they transported?
Well, the thing is that only 1% of the population who dies can become an organ donor, because you can only become an organ donor through brain death. And only 1% of the population dies in this manner.
Okay.
So that's why there's the big discrepancy between the people who are registered to donate and the people who can actually donate.
Explain that further, because that makes a lot of sense, and I didn't know that.
Yes. If you die of a cardiac death, blood stops flowing to your organs completely, and your organs start to die, of course. If you die of brain death, your heart is still pumping, but there is no activity in your brain. So you're usually on a ventilator for a while, which keeps those organs viable for transplant. So that's the way that you are able to transplant due to a brain death.
Wow. So your organization provides a program called Brighten a Child's Day. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
It's sort of, it resembles the bracelets I have on, which is Why Not Brighten a Child's Day, and it glows in the dark, because the concept came to me because I remember just being in those hospital beds, being in those dialysis centers, and just feeling like my world is crashing in, and everyone else is out enjoying their lives, and I was just in a dark moment. And just the concept of this bracelet, it glows in the dark. So I tell the kids that even though you're going through this dark time, darkness only lasts for a short time, but try to find your strength through dark times. Just like a why me became a why not. Just like while they're in a hospital bed, like just take time out to, try to find your purpose, and that's why we give these bracelets to kids all across the country and around Ohio that we visit, and let them know that just remember that no matter what you're going through in your darkest moments, the light is always shining. So
I love it.
Yeah, no matter where I'm at, she has one on, and we can be in totally different parts of the country, and at nighttime we're still connected, because in the dark time we're still shining. So just like our spirits. So that's important. Just
amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, thank you guys so much for being here with us today. We've learned a lot about your foundation. I'm sure we can find you on Google. And thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Our pleasure.
Coming up next on Joy in Our Town, Youth Summer Activities. Stay with us. We'll be right back.